experience, delivering strategic solutions across a wide range of business domains. He has partnered with global clients to design and implement cutting-edge technology solutions, bringing a deep understanding of both the public as well as the private sector. Currently, he is serving as a senior IT professional at IBM, and in the past, he has held key positions at organizations such as NCRTC Government of India, Tech Mahindra, and Tata Consultancy Services. He holds a Master of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering, and a PhD in Technology. His doctoral research titled Power Components Measurement Using Soft Computing Techniques has contributed to advancement in energy systems and computational intelligence. His expertise spans a broad spectrum of IT disciplines, including cloud solutions, architecture, enterprise application integration, IT automation, and the application of artificial intelligence and soft computing techniques to solve complex business challenges. He is also well versed in implementing enterprise architectural frameworks that align technology investments with business goals, enabling organizations to achieve operational excellence and drive innovation. He is highly regarded for his thought leadership in the IT domain, with a particular focus on integrating AI-driven solutions to optimize system performance and enhance productivity. His contributions to both industry and academia reflect his dedication to continuous learning and innovation in the ever-evolving field of technology. We at Techno Engineering College Banipur are very happy that a person of his stature and expertise has joined our FDP. So without further ado, I would like to request Dr. Somojit Goswami to take over his session and deliver the lecture to our participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this introduction. Okay, so let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, so let's start then. Okay, so first of all, thank you Techno Engineering College Banipur for inviting me as a guest lecturer in this FDP program, 5-day FDP program. Okay, so the topic which I have chosen for today is AI powered modernization in IT industry. Okay, and the subtopics, like I have chosen like basics of artificial intelligence, AI in public cloud, SDLC in IT industry, AI powered software design, development lifecycle, then AI powered cybersecurity, and IBM consulting AI assistants. The first subtopic which I have chosen, that is the basics of artificial intelligence. I know it's very basic for each one of you, but just to start the context, just to set the context, I have chosen it as the first subtopic. Okay, now if we talk about this AI and the definition of AI, like artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think and act like humans. And in the era of 1940s to 1950s, with the help of Turing machine, this AI came into the picture. And after that, in the year of 2000 or maybe 2010, ML came into picture. 2020, we have the Gen AI. Now, if we talk about the types of AI with respect to its functionalities, we will be having 4 types of AIs. First one is the purely reactive AI. It doesn't have any sort of memory to store the data. It follows a predefined set of rules. The example of this purely reactive AI is like IBM's Deep Blue that defeated Grandmaster Gary Kasparov in the year of 1997. Now, the next one is the limited memory. It can store data, and the based on the historical data or maybe the present data can also be stored into its memory, and it can optimize the data or it can update the data, whatever, and based on that it can take the decision, right? The example is like self-driving cars use sensors and historical data to make decisions about speed, direction, and potential obstacles. And based on the decision, it can change the direction as well, right? The next one is the theory of mind. It is the potential future AI, but it is in the early stage of research. So it is not yet available totally, but we are hoping that it will be available very soon, and it would be able to understand the human thoughts and emotions, also interact socially. And the last one is the self-aware, which is like the machines with self-consciousness and awareness like humans. And this is kind of hypothetical. It's not yet developed, only a concept explored in science fiction and theoretical discussions. So first, we are hoping that the theory of mind will be available. After that, we can think about the self-aware type of AI. Now, the basics of ML, if we start the definition, like it focuses on the development of algorithms and models that enable computers to learn from data and make predictions or decisions without explicit programming, right? Now, if we look into this diagram, like this is the machine learning life cycle, which starts from gathering data, data preparation, data wrangling, analyze data, train model, test model, deployment. All these seven are part of the machine learning life cycle. Now, if we talk about the types of ML based on the way of learning models from data, that is which is there in the trained model, that is fifth part of the ML life cycle. So it is kind of three types. One is the supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Supervised learning meaning it should be having some kind of teacher. Okay, the algorithm is trained on labeled data with known outcomes, so we know what will be the outcome, and also the whatever data we will be storing, that will be the labeled data. For example, image classification, spam detection, price prediction, those are the kinds of supervised learning. Now, if we talk about the unsupervised learning, it doesn't have any sort of teacher. So the algorithm tries to identify patterns or groupings in the unlabeled data on its own. So whatever data we'll be storing, but the idea will be like the data will be vast set of data. Large data has to be there. Then only it will be able to find out the pattern or the grouping. For example, clustering, anomaly detection, dimensionality reduction, etc. And the last one is the reinforcement learning. Model learns by interacting with an environment and receiving rewards or penalties based on its actions. For example, robotics, game playing AI, self-driving cars. So if there is any obstacle, then it will change the direction. That is the penalty. And if it finds like it is the correct direction, that is the reward, then it will follow that direction. That is kind of the reinforcement learning. Next one is the basics of deep learning. So it focuses on algorithms inspired by the structure and function of the brain called artificial neural network, ANN. These networks consist of layers of interconnected nodes or neurons. So if we look into this diagram, in between input layer and the output layer, we are having multiple hidden layers, right? That is one of the characteristic of the deep learning. Okay, deep learning uses multiple layers of neurons. Now, large data sets and high computation. Deep learning models require large amount of labeled data and high computational power, often GPUs and TPUs to train. GPUs meaning graphic processing unit, and TPUs meaning the tensor processing unit. So those type of hardware requirement is there to process the large data set. Okay. The next one is the feature learning. Feature extraction in case of machine learning is usually done manually, but in case of deep learning, it is automatic. So automatically learns features and represents from raw data, making it more adaptable and scalable to complex tasks. If we talk about the application of deep learning, like computer vision, natural language processing, speech recognition, all can be done with the help of deep learning. Now the GenAI, the era, right? Because presently whatever we are generating, then as the name suggests, like generation of something, that is called GenAI, right? So generative AI can learn from existing artifacts to generate new realistic artifacts at scale that reflect the characteristics of the training data but don't repeat it, right? Rather than just recognizing or classifying data, generative AI models produce new original data. So if we look into this layered architecture of GenAI, so it will start from the infrastructure layer, and on top of this infrastructure layer, whatever GenAI models we are having, those models will have to be deployed. On top of that, there should be something which is required for the prompt engineering, so LLM ops and prompt engineering layer. And on top of that, we will be having the data platform and API management layer. So whatever models we will be having, those models can be accessed with the help of REST APIs. And in the application layer, what are the applications we will be building? Those will be deployed in this application layer, and with the help of APIs, the application layer software will be able to access those models with the help of these REST APIs. Otherwise, SDKs are also available instead of the REST APIs. Now the capabilities, as I said, like GenAI can generate something. What are the somethings, right? So text, image, audio, and video generation. Those are the capabilities of GenAI. Then question answering and discovery, summarization and simplification, classification, code generation. Those are the capabilities of GenAI. If we talk about the advantages of adopting GenAI, what will be the if we adopt GenAI, what are the advantages, right? Proficient to quickly generate artifacts at scale, process improvement by automation, risk mitigation by anomaly detection, and the improved customer experience. That is the primary part, right? How the customer experience will be improved. We will discuss about this a lot. Okay, so if we consider this generative AI, so it is based on the foundation models, right? Developed using deep learning neural network, pre-trained on large amount of raw data, but we need to careful, like this large data should not be any biased data. We need to collect the data from different angles by considering different angles, right? It can perform a wide variety of tasks, highly adaptable via natural language prompts, uses self-supervised learning method, that is data is unlabeled and model learns by finding patterns in raw data. Now if we look into this diagram, like foundation model acts upon different types of data, training data, that is the text, image, speech, structural data, 3D signals, and from there it can do different types of tasks like question answering, sentiment analysis, information extraction, image captioning, right, object recognition, and all. And these foundation models are of three types. First one is the language model, then vision model, and then the generative model. Language model excels in generating human-like natural text, perform tasks like language translation, question answering, and text generation. And the examples of these language models are GPT-4, BART, T5, etc. And vision models enable a remarkable image analysis, perform tasks such as image classification, object detection, and image segmentation. Examples are like ResNet, Yellow, etc. And the generative models generate new data similar to existing data, generate text, images, and videos like DALI, GAN, etc. Those are very popular generative models which we are using day-to-day basis, right? Okay. Next. Yes, we will adopt GenAI, but there are a couple of risks we need to consider. And to mitigate those risks, what are the action items we need to take care? That also we will have to discuss, right? The first one is the inaccurate output. GenAI models training data may contain biases, as we discussed just now. Low quality datasets and algorithm imperfections may cause hallucination. So to mitigate that, we need to ensure that the training data is diverse. We need to collect the data from diverse region and representative to avoid bias in the model's output. Next one is the security. So GenAI models are complex and use large amount of data, making them vulnerable to data breaches, hacking, phishing, and more. So to avoid that, what we need to do, we need to address cybersecurity risk before deploying a GenAI model. And GenAI model may incorporate copyrighted material, right? So once the generation is complete by using the GenAI models, then we need to monitor the generated content for copyright violation. Okay, if there is any copyrighted material generated by the GenAI model, then we need to extract that. We do not use those kind of extracted context. What we need to do, we need to regenerate by using different input with the help of the same GenAI model. Okay, and the last one is the privacy concern. If there is any PI data, personally identifiable data, right? So we should not use any sort of PI data. So what we can do, we can look into the data. If there is any licensing agreement required from the user, then we will have to take that licensing agreement from the user or maybe the organization before using that as the training data. So as a whole, if we do one comparison, we can say like artificial intelligence is the superset and the machine learning is the subset of AI, deep learning is the subset of machine learning, and generative AI is the subset of deep learning. Okay, so this is the basic what we have talked about till now. Now we will go into the AI in public cloud. So if we consider different public cloud which are very much popular now, for example, AWS, Azure, or maybe IBM Cloud, right? Google Cloud, then Oracle Cloud. Then what are the different services they have already in their cloud provider, right? That we can look into. For example, any of the public cloud should be having one layered architecture of AI. Okay. Now, at the bottom of the layered architecture will be the data platform. So whatever data, it could be Oracle data, like customer data, third-party data, that should be present in the data platform. Okay, but it has to be secured and efficient data storage. So if we utilize any sort of public cloud, we need to ensure like, yes, that is the secured cloud, right? Or maybe if we consider the multi-cloud or if it is hybrid cloud, then also we need to consider, yes, my cloud is secured enough so that we can utilize the corresponding client specific data, right? On top of this data platform, we will be having the AI infrastructure. So it allocates and manages computing resources like CPUs, GPUs, TPUs, and it is the layer which is responsible for scalability, latency, fault tolerance, load balancing, etc. On top of that, we will be having the model layer, where the existing models of that particular public cloud will be deployed. Or there could be situation where we can generate our own models and we can deploy those models into this model layer, right? So engine for decision making and data processing, and responsible for feature engineering, model training, hyperparameter optimization, that can be done in this model layer. And on top of that, we will be having the application layer. So that is kind of a SaaS, software as a service, right? Responsible for user experience, accessible via REST APIs, GUIs, or maybe SDKs. Okay. So REST APIs, as I said, like REST APIs will be available to create those softwares, and couple of existing softwares will also be available for each and every cloud, which we can utilize. Or maybe if we want to modify those existing softwares, or maybe if we want to deploy our own softwares with the help of those models, that also can be done in this application layer. Okay. Now, if we talk about the global artificial intelligence market, okay, this diagram, that is the forecasted diagram between 2023 to 2033, okay, 10 years tenure. It is generated with the help of market.us. They have generated it. And if we look into this diagram, if we look into this graph, right, so from 2023 to 2033, the global AI market is forecasted to increase from $250 billion to $3,527 billion, which is the market growth, right? Market growth in the CAGR of 30.3%, right? CAGR meaning the compound annual growth rate. So compound annual growth rate for this 10 years tenure is 30.3%, which is huge. Okay. Now the popular AIML services, if we consider AWS, we are having couple of popular AIML services. For example, AWS Forecast, AWS Personalize, Amazon Recognition, AWS SageMaker. SageMaker is very, very important, very popular too. That is tabular regression, classification, clustering can be done with the help of SageMaker. Then text classification, machine classification, topic modeling, image classification, object detection can also be done with the help of AWS SageMaker. Then AWS Lakes, AWS TextTrack, AWS Poly, which can convert blog to podcast or maybe text dictation, right? AWS Comprehend, AWS Transcribe, all those AWS services are readily available. We can utilize those services, or maybe with the help of these services, we can generate our new service. Similarly, for Azure, Microsoft Azure, we are having couple of popular AIML services like Azure AI Search, Azure OpenAI, Bot Service, Content Safety, right, Custom Vision, and all other very popular services which are already available in the SaaS layer of Azure, right? Similarly, for GCP, if we consider in the AI foundation hardware and software, as we discussed, like CPU, GPU, and TPU, all are utilized in this hardware, and the images like deep learning, VMs, deep learning containers are there in this hardware and software layer. On top of that, AI platform, end-to-end model development, and then AutoML, BQML, custom trained models, then APIs, pre-trained models, and the solutions and services ease of implementation like contact center AI, dialog flow, right, talent solution, document AI. I have all those software as a service, and below that, the platform as a service like BigQuery ML, right, natural language translation, all those platform as a service are also available in GCP. Similarly, in case of Oracle, if we this is the screenshot taken from OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Okay, we are having a lot of services, AI services like language specific services, speech specific, vision specific, document understanding, digital assistant. All those services are available within AI services. For machine learning, we are having the data science, data labeling, right? Those services are already available. And as we are using AI, so analytics will also be coming into picture with the on top of AI. So we are having the analytics cloud, right? A big data service, data catalog, data integration, data flow, all those services are available within analytics and AI of Oracle. Now, if we talk about the IBM cloud, okay, IBM cloud, we are having IBM Watson X, which is the IBM's cloud-based commercial AI and scientific data platform. It has three different flavors. One is the watsonx.ai, watsonx.data, and watsonx.governance. watsonx.ai is the service which can be utilized for training, validation, tuning, and deployment of foundation and machine learning model with ease. Now, in case of watsonx.data, as the name suggests, like it is the data layer, right? It can scale analytics and AI workloads for all your data anywhere with watsonx.data. The industry's only data store that is open, hybrid, and governed. And the watsonx.governance is the governance layer for watsonx.ai and watsonx.data. So it accelerates responsibility, transparency, and explainability in your data and workflows with watsonx.governance. The solution helps you direct, manage, and monitor your organization's AI activities. So in IBM Cloud, within IBM watsonx, right, we will be having three different flavors: watsonx AI, watsonx Data, and watsonx Governance. Now, this is the magic quadrant created by Gartner in the year of 2024 and in the month of April. So it is based on the Cloud AI Developer Services, that is CAIDS. What is that? Cloud hosted on containerized services and products that enable software developers who are not data science experts to use AI models via APIs, SDKs, or applications, right? The software developers, there are a lot of software developers who are not data science experts, but for them we are having the APIs, SDKs, or different applications, right? They can utilize those. So to use these CAIDAs, Gartner created this magic quadrant. Okay, and they are in the leaders section. We are having the Amazon Web Services, AWS, GCP, Azure, and IBM in the leaders quadrant. Okay, now the next subsection which I'll talk about, that is the SDLC, software development life cycle in IT industry. Let's see. So whenever there is any project delivery required to any client, so first phase, which is the project planning or feasibility study, which is before the 6 phases of SDLC, right? So in this planning phase or the feasibility study phase, we need to carry on couple of products. Like these are the work products, you can say. For example, boundary of project we need to define. We need to define the scope, okay? And it has to be clearly defined, clearly documented, and it has to be accepted by the customer. It has to be signed by the customer. Then the project will be started. And the other one is like outline objectives, functionalities, and features. What are the functionalities we will be working on? What are the requirements, like what are the functional requirement or the non-functional requirement, that has to be clearly defined. Prioritizing the requirements. What are the requirements we need to deliver fast? That will be the high priority requirements we can consider, right? Planning for creating MVPs meaning the minimum viable product. So which one they are asking us to deliver first, that is the MVP, like which is obvious to go ahead with that project, otherwise the project will not happen. So for that also we need the planning, and we need to create the MVPs for that. Once the MVP is created, we need to take the feedback from the customer. If it is fine, then we will go ahead with that MVPs. We need to enhance that MVPs in the development phase. Otherwise, again, we need to work on that. Creating project plan with timeline of SDLC phases. Software bill of materials. What are the softwares we will be using to deliver the entire SDLC life cycle, right? Entire SDLC, what are the softwares will be required? That has to be documented somewhere. Now, decision on multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, public cloud, private cloud, on-prem, right? So whether we will be go ahead with a single cloud or multi-cloud or maybe hybrid cloud, or if it is without cloud with on-prem deliverable, or maybe private cloud if the client is having their own cloud, then the private cloud is fine. So that sort of decision has to be taken care in this feasibility study phase, right? Then the environment or instance planning, how many instances they are having, in how many instances we need to deploy our codes. That instance strategy, instance planning will have to be created in this feasibility study phase. Decision on testing phases, how many testing phase client want us to accomplish. For example, yeah, SIT and UAT, those two are the obvious, system integration testing and the user acceptance testing. But on top of that, if they are having some other requirement like performance testing, right, or load testing, then that can also be accommodated in this testing phase planning, right? Then the resource and budget estimation, a risk assessment and mitigation plan, we need to create the RAID log, okay. Disaster recovery plan, then the selecting project execution methodology, whether it will be agile methodology or waterfall methodology, that has to be decided. Communication plan, after completion of each and every phase of the SDLC, to whom we need to communicate, that will also be planned in this feasibility study phase, right? Then the escalation matrix, if there is something happen which is not acceptable, right, then to whom we need to escalate. So escalation matrix will be prepared in this feasibility study phase only, okay. Once that is done, then we will start the 6 phases of SDLC. 6 phases meaning the analysis, then design, development, testing, deployment, and the maintenance phase. Now, if we talk about the analysis phase, analysis meaning it is the gathering and analyzing the functional and non-functional requirement, right? And the key stakeholders in this analysis phase, like product owner, project manager, business analyst, CTO, they are the key stakeholders, right? Now, in the design phase, based on the functional and non-functional requirement, the solution outline and design of modules based on the functional and non-functional requirements has to be created. Also, if there is any requirement of creating the prototype, okay, that prototype has to be created by the solution architect. Okay, that prototype can be utilized in the development phase by the developers. Okay, and the key stakeholders of this design phase are system architect, UX UI designer. Okay, they are the key stakeholders. Now, if we talk about the development phase, okay, so the key deliverables in this development phase are coding and the unit testing based on the design whatever we have done in the phase 2. Also, the version control is another one work product. So version controlling has also been done in this development phase. Okay, so who are the stakeholders here? The front end developer and the back end developer. Now, in the testing phase, solution architect, should be present because he knows the entire solution of end-to-end project. So solution architect is the most important stakeholder other than testers, QA engineers, and DevOps engineers. Here, we should create the test planning and strategy as per the requirements, then test case execution, defect resolution, that everything is considered within this testing phase. Now, the fifth phase, that is the deployment phase. Okay, so here we need to set up the DevOps, then the execution of deployment plan, right? Deployment plan, or in other words, we can say it as the cutover plan. We create those cutover plan or the deployment plan. And the data administrator, DevOps engineer, they are the primary stakeholders in this deployment phase. And the last one is the maintenance phase, right? So users, testers, support managers, they are the key stakeholders. Here, mainly we will be doing the bug fixing or bug tracking. Okay. Also, if there is any automation possible, we need to do the analysis. Then the performance improvement can also be taken care in this maintenance phase. Now, if we consider the key deliverables of each and every phase, so phase one, in the analysis phase, the key deliverables are the functional requirement, non-functional requirement document, and the business design document. The strategy document, everything will be considered as the work products in this analysis phase. Now, in the design phase, we should be having the solution outline document, high level design, low level design, level 5 business process, building prototypes and gather feedbacks from the customer. If there is any requirement of changing that prototype, that also has to be considered in this design phase. Finalizing the prototype is also be considered in this design phase. So that is also one of the deliverable in this phase 2 by the solution architects. Now, in the phase 3, that is the development phase, the front end, back end, and the middleware developers, middleware coders, they will be creating the codes, and that is their deliverable, right? Version control is also one of the deliverable. Then the unit test scripts and unit test results, those are also the deliverables of this phase 3. Now, in case of phase 4, that is the testing phase. In this testing phase, we can have the SIT, UAT, load testing, whatever testing phases are there should be considered in this testing phase. Okay, based on the discussion which happened in the beginning of the project. Okay, so we need to define the test cases, test scenarios, executing test scripts. It can be manual or maybe automated. Capturing the test evidence or results, that is also part of this testing phase. Then the defect tracking, defect resolution, those are also the deliverables in this testing phase. Next one is the deployment phase deliverables, like detailed deployment or cutover plan with pre and post deployment steps, right? So at the time of production migration or maybe the cutover, yes, we will be following the plan which are mentioned in the cutover plan, right? On top of that, if there is any pre steps required or maybe the post steps required, post deployment steps, that will also be considered in the cutover plan, which we generally miss while creating the cutover plan. Okay, but that is very much important. Then the release management is also one of the work product in this deployment phase. And in the last phase, that is the maintenance phase, where we should maintain the defect tracker with severity, priority, complexity, and the automation and performance tuning. So those are the deliverables, key deliverables we can say in this maintenance phase. Now, yes, we have discussed about the SDLC phases. Now, if we can utilize AI, if we can leverage AI in these SDLC phases, then there will be a lot of improvement which we will discuss in this section. Okay, so empowering SDLC. Okay, now in this analysis phase, the requirement writing, analysis, or maybe user story generation, those those can be done with the help of AI. Okay. So for that, we need to create the AI assistants, which will be doing all those tasks instead of doing everything with the help of manual intervention, right? Now in the design phase, the creation of the sequence diagram, flow diagram, architecture, design document, okay, the reverse engineering, everything can be done with the help of AI, but we need to look into the generated content. For example, if we leverage AI and if it generates the sequence diagram, but there should be someone, maybe the architect, who will be looking into that sequence diagram, and if there is any modification required on top of the generated sequence diagram, that has to be taken care, right? Now in the development phase, the code generation, debugging and optimizing codes, improving consistency, following coding standards, data analysis and report generation, all of them can be done with the help of AI. But yes, there is some monitoring required on top of the generated contents, generated codes and all. Test cases, test scripts generation with the help of the requirements, functional requirements, non-functional requirements, right? Then the automation testing. Yes, manual testing is fine, but on top of that, there are a lot of projects where we use automation testing with the help of some tools, right? If the tools are not available, then we can leverage AI to do the automation testing, right? Then the CI/CD pipeline automation, infrastructure as code generation, right? CI/CD pipeline for DevOps setup, and infrastructure as code for creating the infrastructure with the help of codes, right? That is called infrastructure as code. For example, if we want to create the compute database or middleware, or maybe if we want to deploy some softwares on top of the infrastructure, everything can be done with the help of codes, and that code can be written with the help of AI. So we can leverage AI to create the infrastructure as code. Now the performance tuning, automation, analyze logs, identify potential issues and suggest fixes or improvements, that can also be done with the help of AI. That will be part of the maintenance, or that will be part of the maintenance phase in the SDLC, right? And throughout the 6 phases of SDLC, the project manager can utilize AI to analyze the historical project data, predicting delays, improving communication, right? Also, we can personalize the IDs, whatever will be utilized by the developer. For example, it can learn from the developer's habits and preferences, right? And based on that, it can personalize the recommendation and create the shortcuts on the IDEs or tools, whatever they are using. Okay. Now, the benefits of AI in SDLC. Yes, we can utilize AI in different phases of SDLC. But if we utilize AI in different phases of SDLC, what are the benefits, right? For example, it can increase the productivity and efficiency. That is very, very important. We can utilize the productivity and efficiency with the help of automation of repeating tasks, faster development, or improved coding efficiency, reduce human errors, right? Then we can enhance the software quality. There are a couple of additional benefits as well. For example, it can enhance the scalability, improve customer experience, improve collaboration, communication, reporting, increase productivity by removing the boring routine tasks and focusing on creative assignments, right? And most importantly, it can increase the return on investment. So if we invest on AI to create some assistants which can be utilized in the different phases of SDLC, what return we will get, right? That has to be highlighted to the customer. Then only they will be able to invest on top of creating the AI assistants, right? So we have seen like it can increase the return on investment. And based on this Gartner's diagram, like we can see like it can improve the productivity or efficiency around 77%. It can reduce the cost 50%. That means we should get return on investment, right? And it can enhance the customer experience around 56%. It can increase the agility and responsiveness 53%, drive digital transformation by 53%, and drive innovation by 50%. Right. Next one is the AI for cybersecurity. Yes, as we have discussed about the SDLC, now this cybersecurity should also be implemented in the phases of SDLC. And if we can utilize AI in cybersecurity, then again we can increase the return on investment with the help of AI on cybersecurity, right? So where we can utilize AI, for example, malware detection, phishing detection, password protection, right? Network security, user authentication, bot identification, right? So there we can utilize AI to detect those attacks, right? For example, we can utilize AI in malware detection. It can detect and counters both known and unknown malware threats, right? If there is any phishing email, then we can utilize AI to detect those phishing emails, right? Clicking on suspicious links or sharing personal information in response to phishing email, or maybe in the multi-factor authentication, we can utilize AI to protect the password. Okay, in the network security, for traffic pattern identification, right? If there is any unusual traffic pattern happens, or maybe predicting of the potential network security risk, monitoring connected devices, there we can utilize AI. Right, in the user authentication, like biometric authentication, for example, the voice pattern, facial recognition, fingerprints, there we can utilize AI. Okay, set of deep fake video or audio, where one's appearance can be artificially replaced, is being countered with the help of AI ML. So with the help of AI ML, we can very much protect the different phases of SDLC. Okay. Now, if we look into this graph, which is created by the precedenceresearch.com, and it is also one forecast of 10 years span from 2022 to 2032. The investment on cybersecurity is gradually increased from $17.4 billion to $102.78 billion, which is kind of huge, right? Now, AI for cybersecurity process breakdown. Okay, so in the cybersecurity, if we can utilize the one of the attack detection model, right? This attack detection model can be utilized for data collection, for data preparation if there is any hacking happened, or maybe if there is any cybersecurity breach happen, then it can get the information, it can revert that, and it can be protected, right? The entire software system can be protected. The data collection, data preparation, model training, model testing, there we can utilize this attack detection model. And the user can also track that with the help of the visualization layer, where we should be having the dashboard, a report, or maybe email notification can also be triggered to the user, so that they will be able to identify, yes, there is some kind of hacking happened, there is some kind of cybersecurity breach happened, and the corresponding action has to be taken care. That is also automated, like whatever action is required, that can also be happened automatically with the help of attack detection model. Now, next one, IBM Consulting AI Assistant. Okay, so presently IBM Consulting is the asset-based company. Okay, it is not likely for IBM. It is for each and every software industry, what I can say. But as I am talking about only IBM today, so like I am considering, yes, IBM consulting is started continuing creating of different AI assistants. Okay, those AI assistants can be leveraged into different projects, and whenever any project bidding happen, or maybe if there is any oral happens with different customers, then showcase them we showcase them about the AI assistants, and based on their feedback, we can utilize those AI assistants in each and every project. So if we consider the AI assistants, like there are different types of AI assistants. First one we can consider as the everyday AI assistant, okay, which we can utilize on daily basis. For example, market researcher, compelling pitch generator, email classifier, transcript summarizer, PowerPoint generator, project communication generator, executive summarizer, expert perspective builder. So these are the couple of examples of everyday AI assistants which are created by IBM, and those AI assistants are being used in each and every project. Almost around 90% projects we are using these AI assistants, and so that we can generate the revenue for the customer, and customers are very much happy to utilize those AI assistants in each and every project. Okay. Now, there are a couple of project specific AI assistants as well. For example, gap analyzer. So if there is any sort of AMS project, maintenance project, right? So for those maintenance project, if those maintenance projects are very much long running project, right, they should be having large number of documents. What will happen is, to go through each and every document, and from there to identify the corresponding gap, okay, based on the new requirement, it is very difficult. So in that case, AI helps us to identify the gaps from the existing huge documentation from the client. Okay, so that is one of the AI assistant we have built. Then the next one is the reverse engineering. That is also one of the AI assistant. For example, if we consider any such customer which is running for long term, right? They should be having their own code base, and if the code base is very old code base, for example, mainframe or a legacy code base, then it is very difficult to go through those entire code base and to identify, because they don't have any documentation on top of this code base, right? So it will be very difficult to identify what the code is actually doing. So their AI helps us to provide some kind of holistic view what the code is actually doing, and also it can provide the health metrics and size metrics of the complex systems. Okay. Then the other AI assistant, which is the Agent Assist Plus Plus, right? It responds to user queries based on client IT documentation, right? So if it can utilize the large set of documents, okay, and from those documents, if the user asks any question, it can answer for that corresponding question. Okay, so that is kind of a chatbot. Now the business process generator, it can generate the professional business process flow with the help of IBM BlueWorks Live. Okay, so if there are if we are having the functional and non-functional requirements, which is generated by the design phase, right? And from those functional and non-functional requirements, we can generate the process, the business process flow, that will be kind of a text-based business process flow. But if we can put that text on top of IBM BlueWorks Live, then we can get the graphical representation of that flow, business process flow. Okay, I'll show one demo for that. Okay, code analyzer. Utility to analyze the Oracle and PLSQL code to generate summaries and code flow diagram. Oracle and PLSQL has been taken as the example, but it can be utilized in other codes as well, right? So what it will do is it will analyze the code and it will provide some kind of summary on top of those codes. Then technical specification generation. Technical specification is very much important, and that has to be created by the designers or maybe the developers, okay, before writing their codes. And that technical specification has to be generated from the functional specification document. So if the functional specification document is available, then it can be generated with the help of AI. And on top of that, if there is any modification required, then the developers can do that very well. But at least the basic structure of the technical specification document has been created with the help of AI. Similarly, the test script and test case generator. So it can generate the test scripts from business process design document, that is the BPDD, where the entire business life cycle will be there, where the business requirement will be present. Based on that, it can generate the test scripts or test cases. Code generator. From the technical specification generator, it can generate the codes, okay, that is the basic building block of the codes, right? On top of that, the developer's task will be to create the required codes, but at least the basic structure of the code will be available for them, right? Then the L1 L2 ticket support, okay. AI can work on the L1 L2 tickets, and there should not be any manual intervention required to support those L1 L2 ticket. And on top of that, if there is any such difficult tickets created, that is the L3 ticket, then the manual intervention will be required. But at least for and we have seen like L1 and L2 tickets come very frequently. The number of L1 tickets, L1 and L2 tickets are very large. So if AI can be leveraged to look into those L1 L2 ticket support, then it will be very much helpful for the maintenance team. Now there are a couple of business use cases, okay, we have already developed for one of the customer, ERP customer, that is called DHL. And the end-to-end flow, automated end-to-end flow, is working fine. It has been already deployed into their production environment, and the entire end-to-end flow is working fine for their production environment, okay, and they are very much happy customer. So what happened is, previously each and every user used to get different emails with the image based purchase order PDF, okay, and their task was to go through those image based PDFs, and from there they used to identify the keywords, they used to identify, for example, the purchase order number, okay, and then they will have to fill up the forms to create the sales order. And once they fill up the corresponding details into that form, then only the sales order will have to be created into the corresponding ERP application. So to avoid that manual intervention, the entire end-to-end flow has already been automated with the help of AI, right? So what we have done is, once we receive the image-based purchase order PDFs, we read those purchase order PDFs with the help of keyword identification, key value extraction. We generate the JSON file, and from those JSON files, we do the transformation based on the sales order payload, and then we invokes the sales order creation REST APIs to create the sales order into the corresponding ERP application. Now, let me run this video, which is one of the sales pitch for each and every customer we do use whenever we go for the orals, or maybe if there is any bidding happens, okay. I hope you are able to hear this, right? So conversion between purchase order to sales order is happening over here. It is extracting the corresponding invoice number, and from there it is creating the sales order. Okay, now here the sales order has already been created. Okay, so that is one of the use case we have delivered for the DHL customer. Now, if we go into the next use case, so this is the business use case for one of the HCM customer. Okay, one of the HCM customer, that is the Accor Invest Group, and it is kind of recruiting automation. Okay, so what we are doing here is writing the job description with qualification, experience, responsibilities, skill highlights, and job recommendation to the candidate according to their uploaded resume, data population of the candidate in job application based on the resume, scheduling interview. Everything is automated, and end-to-end process is working fine for that particular customer. And we are using this as the sales pitch for for the other customers as well into the HCM field. Let me run this once again. Hope this is audible. If it is not, please let me know, then I need to restart it. Okay. Job posting is happening over here. Okay. So this is one of the business use case which we have talked about. Then the next one is, sorry, IBM Consulting Advantage, right? ICA. So this is one of the AI service platform within IBM where all the assistants are deployed. So we can say like this is one library of assistants. Okay. Now designed to support and empower IBM consultants in delivering consistency, repeatability, and speed for the clients. Because the assistants are already available, we just need to utilize those assistants in our day-to-day projects. Okay. Then differentiated experience that brings together the best of IBM, right? So whenever we go for any client orals, we do utilize this ICA and we show them like, yes, these are the assistants we are having. We can utilize them in the project, and based on that, we can generate your revenue. We can increase the ROI for your investment, right? Next. Yes, so we have already discussed about the user story generation, right? So user story generation, for this we have already one AI assistant. If we run this, you will be able to understand what it does. This is the AI assistant. Okay. The next one is the business process generation. We have already talked about this, right? So based on the requirements, we can create the business process notation in BPMN language format. And from that BPMN notation, we can create the business process flow, entire end-to-end flow, business process flow with the help of IBM BlueWorks Live. Let's see how it works. So this is BPMN 2.0 specification, which is utilized in IBM BlueWorks Live to generate this business flow. Okay. The next one is the test script generator from the maybe from the requirement document, that is functional requirement, or maybe from the non-functional requirement. We can create the test scripts which are utilized by the testers while doing executing the tests, while executing the tests, or from there they can create the test results as well. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that is all about the test script generation. And the good thing is all the videos are generated with the help of AI only. Okay, and we have utilized both IBM Cloud as well as Oracle Cloud. So multi-cloud environment has been utilized. And now let's look into the one small demo on ICA platform. I hope my screen is still visible. Okay, so this is the ICA platform. If we see, this is IBM Consulting Advantage, and for logging into this, we need one IBM login credential. Okay, and the first and foremost task in this IBM Consulting Advantage is we need to either join one project project team, or maybe we can create our own team so that the other people can also join in that team. Okay, for example, I am part of these teams, and also I have one personal team as well. So here I can invite the other person so that they can join in this team. Okay, if we go into this workspace, we can see three different types of services available. First one is the everyday assistant, which we have already talked. Then the SDLC assistant, that also we have already talked. And this is the IBM Consulting Assistant, where we can create our own assistants, okay, that can be deployed into this IBM Consulting Assistant. Now, if we look into this everyday assistants, these are the assistants already deployed as part of everyday assistant. I can go to next page or whatever. Now, if I open any of the assistant with the help of this button, use assistant, we will be going into that particular assistant, and there we can create our own prompt so that we can get the corresponding output from that particular assistant. For example, this assistant, this is for they are asking about the key topics, key points, and action items, and the summary. If your transcript is too long, please break it into different sections. Okay, so if we utilize that, and with the help of this type of input, if I provide this type of input, then I will be getting the corresponding output. So this is part of the everyday assistant, where we can get the transcript, where we can put the transcript, and we can get the summary of that transcript. Okay, it is always not possible to attend each and every meeting, right? So we will be getting the transcript for that meeting, and from that transcript we can get the summary of that transcript. Okay, now that is part of the everyday assistant. Now if I go into the SDLC assistant, okay, SDLC assistant, we have already a couple of assistants deployed. If I consider one of them, for example, generate Java code, use assistant, if I click on this use assistant, they are expecting in this Java generate Java code, they are expecting a couple of input parameters. If I provide the input based on their need, like for example, tech stack, whether it is Spring Boot or not, type of API, RESTful API or SOAP API, this type of input if I provide, it will generate a corresponding Java code for me, which we can leverage in our SDLC phase. That is why it is part of SDLC assistant. Okay, and if we want to create our own assistants, then we need to go the other section, that is the IBM Consulting Assistant. If I go there, what I need to do is I need to first create, click on this start a new chat. Right here, the IBM's own Granite 3 8B model has been utilized, that is developed by IBM. But if we want to change this model, Granite model, that can also be done with the help of this button, switch model. Okay. Also, if I have some set of document that can also be inserted into this insert document collection, or maybe if we have the chatbot, then we can insert that chatbot into this insert assistant, or we are having the insert integration, end-to-end flow is having, then we can insert that end-to-end flow in this insert integration section. But that is the beta version, it's not yet deployed fully. Okay, so by utilizing these buttons and by utilizing the existing documents or existing chatbots or whatever is it, we can create our own prompt, that is the input prompt, and from there we can get the corresponding output. Okay, so that is by that way we can create our own assistant, and once the own assistant is created, we can deploy that assistant into this ICA platform, which can be utilized by other project or other project member, right? Okay, so that is all about the demo, and that ends my lecture for today. So if you have any question, we can go ahead. But before wrap it down, what I would like to tell is, so from my industrial experience of around 2 decades, right, I do notice that there is a clear change in the way of project delivery by leveraging AI. Okay, so we should convey this message to the final year students so that they can accommodate this in their mindset from the early stage. Okay. Whenever they will be getting into any sort of project or any sort of industry, they should imbibe that in their mind. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Goswami sir. Now the session is open for the participants to post any questions they may have. You can write in the chat box, so I can see it also. You can also read out. Is my voice audible to all? Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So a question has been posted. What are the potential risks of cyber criminals using AI for offensive purposes, and how can defensive AI strategies be developed to counteract such threats?
Your voice is not clear. Can you please come again?
Yes, sir. I will just repeat the question. What are the potential risks of cyber criminals using AI for offensive purposes, and how can defensive AI strategies be developed to counteract such threats?
Yes, correct. So I think I have already discussed about that, and for that, I mean, to mitigate that risk, what we can do is we can create our own detection model, which can be leveraged in the each and every cybersecurity phases, the processes, whatever we are having. For example, at the time of data collection, we can utilize that detection model, right? At the time of data preparation, we can utilize that detection model, or maybe the model training, model testing phase, we can utilize that I mean the detection model, so that we can identify the corresponding cyber threat and the corresponding precautions can also be taken care with the help of that detection model.
Sir, some of the participants are asking for your PPT. Will it be possible for them to get it?
Uh, yes, I can share that. Only thing is I need to remove couple of client names, then I will share that.
Okay, sir. Any participants, you can also unmute your mic and ask questions to sir directly. If there are, okay. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I think we can thank again. Thank you so much, sir, and we can end this session. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you all. Bye.
So tomorrow we will resume our FDP from 12 o'clock with our first session of the day. Please share your feedbacks, post your attendance. Okay. We will see you to all tomorrow. Thank you very much.